Auntie Beverly said, "Hi, nice to meet you,
Oh,
Mom."
she just typing.
She typing, yeah.
And
Yeah.
then she gonna laugh. Auntie is crazy.
Can you hear me laughing?
Yeah, we can, and we are live. So, hello, everyone. Happy December. We are December. We made it so far. We only got so many more days to make it to 2021. Hopefully, 2021 is a lot better than 2020.
Listen, I ain't gonna even play 2020 like it didn't hit though. Like I've had some great moments in 2020, but it's been some craziness going on.
The only
Yes, it
problem
has
I've
been.
had, I've honestly not had any issues except for the fact of having to wear a mask when I'm outside. That literally has been my only issue.
See,
Outside of that, so
blessings.
it's been right. So it's been really great. But as a collective, 2020 has been an interesting experience for many. So I want to
Roller
thank
coaster.
everybody for coming on today. Thanking the people that are going to join us through Facebook, and also the people that have joined us through Zoom today. And so I just want to get started with some house rules. Zoom attendees, make sure that you mute until we involve you all in the audience feedback. Make sure that we are all respectful and allow people to finish speaking before we jump in. We are going to have about 2 minutes for responses. Cicely is our general, and make sure that those things take place. Also, this is being recorded, so if you don't want to be seen, make sure to keep your cameras off. And just as a reminder, if you want us to talk about a specific topic, please make sure to type it in the comments to let us know what things that you would like for us to talk about. And also, the last and final one, the most important one of the day, is let's have fun. So, today we're going to be talking about addressing our toxic behaviors. But before we get to that, let's introduce ourselves. So we'll go around, and I guess I need to introduce myself too. My name is CiaraWimby, and I am the CEO and founder of LIV You Nonprofit. And I am also one of the self-care coaches, and I focus on physical wellness.
And I am Cicely Beckham.
You're low for some reason.
Uh-oh, can you hear me now?
You're low though.
I don't know why I'm so low. I'm trying to test my mic. Go ahead, Stephany. So what
Okay.
I test my mic.
Okay. So I'm Stephany. I am a spiritual coach with Live You. So nice to meet everyone.
Y'all hear that?
We hear you. You just low.
You're just low.
What about now?
You're still low.
Mm.
Girl, I don't know what I did to it. I broke it.
Uh,
Anyway,
yeah, you sound better, a little better now.
okay, trying to get my computer together. Yay, nay.
A little better.
All right, so I don't know how to fix it. But anyway, I am Coach Cicely, or Cicely Beckham. As you can see, I can't lie. My whole name just popped up. So I am the mental wellness coach. And clearly I had jokes on this Saturday morning. So welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome.
All righty, cool. So, Miss Cicely, comments from our weekly post that we put out to let people give us some feedback in the event that they are not able to join us. Do you have anything for us?
I do. So the question was, why are you dealing with yours and others' toxic behaviors? And so one of the comments says, I think it's mostly because growth is uncomfortable and takes time, especially when we're forced to confront the lower versions of ourselves and others. I was like, yeah, all of that. Right. But it's
Mm-hmm.
true because, and my reply was, I agree because we never like to confront our demons that we're comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody come around and shake them up, we be offended. Like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Talk nice to me.
Right.
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 And so I thought that was just imperative to understand, like, do you even know? Like, how are you aware? Like, I became aware with my toxic behaviors when I saw it in others and was offended by
Mm.
it. And I was like, whoa, okay, that's offensive. Maybe I should address that or not. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm
And
a strong
so,
believer of that one.
yeah. Another question, it was more so, it was a question where the question was, how do I identify my toxic behavior? Like, what if I don't know them? So I
I,
just gave my answer on how I found mine was that when I found the same things that I've done, like, when people like, don't get mad when I pull a you on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my behavior. It's toxic. Huh? Okay. Because I don't like it. Don't, you're right. Don't do that to me. Don't, please don't.
There's a saying that I'm aware of, and I live my life by this once I learned it, which is everybody you meet is a representation of who you are, past, present, or future. And if you are confused about who you are, just start looking around with the people that you've allowed in your life. So like they say,
Mm.
you are the people that you spend your time with. And a lot of times, we want to say, no, that's not who I am. I'm not that person. I'm not like that. And you may not be every aspect of who they are, but there's something that you have in common with them. That's why they're in your space. Nobody is in your space that you don't have something in common with. And probably the thing that you dislike most about them is your toxic behavior.
Yeah.
Another thing that I recognize as far as my own toxic behaviors is when I do something or I say something to another person and they don't give me the response I'm expecting. They're kind of taken off by what it is that I've said or what it is that I've done, and they don't respond at all. Or they respond more like they're hurt, they're sad. When you say something to a person, you're expecting for them to come back with all that energy that you just gave them, and they don't. They're just kind of stuck there like, did she really just, this is happening? Okay, well, I understand. Thank you. You have a blessed day. One of those. And they walk away. You don't hear from them for a long time. So when something like that happens, that's when I do some self-reflection and I literally go play by play back to what it is that I've said, done, how I said it, what it is that I could have said better, what it was that I was accusing or addressing, whatever the case may be. That's when I recognize that these are my toxic behaviors.
So forcing people into confrontations.
Oof.
Ooh. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
strong. It's a strong one, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I think most of my toxic behavior comes in the form of nonchalantness. Like, people think I don't care about nothing.
Mm.
Like, I like, you just go, you don't have no emotions. I'm like, what? I am so emotional. What do you mean? So, but my demeanor puts them off of it. He said, yes, how could I have said that better in a more positive way? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just being like, yeah, no, I don't, and that's my thing. I don't be thinking like that. I just be like, I said what I said. I mean, I don't know what else you want from me. And so I think that may be it, because sometimes I just don't consider others' emotions behind it. It's just like, it's the truth. What
Mm-hmm.
not? And so it can be hurtful, because like I said, when it's given back to me in that manner, I realize, like, hold on, talk nice to me before I throw your ass to the wolves. Like, it triggers me to go into another
Yeah.
level of pettiness. And that's why I'm like, oh no, that's toxic. Bring that back, Cicely. So once it's out there, it's out there. Exactly. You said what you said. I felt how I felt, and it is what it is. But that's not always good. So
Right.
it's to
Right.
be more reflective, like just one of those things when your mama used to always tell you, think before you speak. You just say
Mm-hmm.
anything. And I'm like, I did think, that's why I said it.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Right.
real, think before you, like, what is my intentions of this? What I'm trying to communicate to you, like, what are my intentions behind it? And that's how it sets the tone of how I say things. now.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I have to now speak intentionally all the time. And that's kind of hard because sometimes you be like, listen, I don't want to meet you where you are. I don't. Yeah. Take it how you want. And that's not always okay.
And a lot of times the people that are on the receiving end of that, they don't know how to take it. They don't know how to handle it. So again, you said what you said. I've said it before, and I know this is one of my things. I don't apologize for what I said. I may apologize for how I said it, but I said what I said. I meant it, every last word. So the people on the other end receiving it, even if they don't even accept that, I'm still okay with that because I said what I said. But on the receiving end, they're not ready to accept that because we're also reflecting a characteristic behavior in themselves. So we're a mirror to them as well. And they're not ready to address that bottom or that other part of who they are.
So like when you said in the other person may not know how to respond. So then that's, let's say in reverse with us, if someone's being toxic to us, how is it that how do we respond?
Like this?
Toxic behavior as well.
We disappear. We do. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but that's how we respond.
Exactly. That's a true statement. We all do that. We leave, or we're quiet, or we go away. And so then it's like, well, where did the people go? Why are they gone? What happened? Not thinking, well, maybe you said something, or maybe you did something, because I am not an arguer. I do not like to argue with people. Now, there was a time in my life, and for those who experienced me during that time in my life would say, Ciara's lying. She does like to argue. But there was a time in my life where I would argue you down. But because I'm not an arguer anymore, I would just rather just sit there, be quiet, and look at you. And in my mind, I'm like, this is the last time we're having this conversation. This is the last time we're having a conversation. This is the last time we talking. But that's fine. Go ahead, say what you got to say. Get it all out. Go say what you got to say, because I'm gone. Because I realize that's behavior I don't want to deal with. And so when we also go back to every person you meet is a representation of who you are, past, present, or future. So that may have been my past self that I no longer align with. And so because I don't align with that type of behavior, it's time for me to move forward in my next step of my journey, because that journey, I've sealed that deal. And I'm like, check mark, I'm done. Thank you. And a lot of times we double back though. So do we learn from our toxic behavior the first time? Not always, probably most times not.
And you do have days where you're 20%, where sometimes you know better, but you just ain't finna do better today. It's okay. They finna catch you, whoever it is.
That's real talk right there.
I literally read this statement to Stephany probably not even 5 minutes before we started. It says, truth is, sometimes we know better. We just don't feel like starting over. It takes so much work to do better once you know better. But it's just so, that's why they say ignorance is bliss. It was so much fun before I really knew the rules to society. No, let me do all this craziness. But now that you know better, you oh man. Okay.
Bye. But do I have to?
Yeah. Let's open it up.
You'll undo all the work that you've done. And that's what Cicely told me a few minutes ago, not too long ago, because we were having a conversation similar to this one. You would undo a lot of the work that you've already done on yourself by not doing better. And that's okay. You have those 20% days, but don't fall back into that. Stick to who you are and where you're progressing to move forward. Don't go back, because that's really undoing some things. That's really opening up a whole nother can, and you're going to go down a different path and a different road that you didn't want to go on. And it may take you longer to come back. It reminds me of a credit score. It's very easy to break down your credit score, but it's hard to build it back up. Same scenario here, in my opinion.
Yeah. Let's open it up to our audience. That's our guest that's here. tell me, I want to know just the question. And can we answer the question? Like, how do you deal with your toxic behaviors, or why do you deal with your toxic behaviors and others? Anybody? And Ciara, I don't know because I can't see Facebook. So if anybody's live on Facebook, you can
Yeah,
also.
no one is has chimed in on Facebook right now.
Okay, cool. Anybody want to talk? Mama, I know you always got something to say. Don't act like that. But you got a 2-minute limit.
Okay, I was just holding out because I said I was not. I told Cicely that I wasn't going to be that talker. But I feel like, you know how you were saying that sometimes when you have to go back that you don't want to undo. Sometimes you don't have to go all the way back. Sometimes you can sidestep and start a whole new avenue. So you got to realize when it's worth saving, because sometimes some of the information that you get, it started off with good intentions. So therefore, you have to go back to where the intent came toxic. So you don't have to just get rid of it. It's not like throw the baby out with the bathwater. So you take it to the point and you identify it. You do some self-awareness with yourself and you identify where the point turned, and then you can take it from there. And sometimes it's worth saving, depending on what it is and who it is and how toxic it is. So you don't always have to lose ground. Sometimes you can find out, you know, that midpoint where you are, switch gears and keep it moving forward. So you have to really be aware of what's going on within you and how willing you are to, and how committed you are to that behavior. So
I got a question in the middle of your question. One, it ties in with what Auntie Beverly said. She said she's a fan of second chances. So, or she's a person of second chances. So what you're saying, that what I take from putting that with what you're saying is that she's saying that avenue switch that you talk about, that's her second chance. So, or Auntie Beverly, don't let me put words in your mouth, but that's what I'm getting out of it. So let me know if you're not saying that. But so just with switching is it that I'm okay with, like, I love this person enough to work through these toxic behaviors? So is this how I'm addressing it, or why I put up with what I'm dealing with? Because I love this person enough, like, yeah, it's toxic behavior, but I love you enough to work through it and to switch avenues. And so not address necessarily hold fault for you and disappear like I would do with somebody I don't love. I'm not saying love as much, but care as much for and willing to put that work in. But so when it's the people that I'm willing to put the work in with, I'll switch gears and take it to that next avenue and give them a second chance instead of just disappearing because I don't like the toxic behaviors. Is that what I'm hearing? Let me make sure I'm processing that right.
That's a good.
I like giving people a benefit of doubt. You know, before, I don't want to judge you. Sometimes, you know, people be going through things and they don't realize what they're doing. So say maybe that person was having a bad day and didn't realize what situation. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a benefit of a doubt. I'm gonna give you another chance, but I only gonna give you maybe 2 chances. That third chance, I know that, you know, this is just your behavior and this is not what I want to be a part of. So when I say to give a person a second chance, I mean, that first encounter, they might have been having a bad day or something might have been on their mind and they just didn't realize how it went over. So just, you know, like sometimes me, you know, my mind be somewhere else in 1,000 different places, and somebody can go by me and say, hey, and they'll say, oh, you know, she's snobby. I spoke to her and she didn't even speak. You know, I might not even see this person because my mind is somewhere else. So don't just judge me on my first, you know, first time you met me or the first time, you know, you saw me and I didn't speak to you or whatever. The next time around, I said, hey, Beverly, you know, I know you probably didn't see me, but I say, hey, and I said, oh, I'm so sorry, you know, hey, how you doing? You know, just giving people a benefit of a doubt, give them a second chance. And Ciara know me. I am one of those people that I can give you a second chance But on that third one, like, wait a minute, I have to pull back and say, wait a minute, let me think about this. Wait a minute. You did this to me once, you did this to me twice, and I allowed it.
Mm-hmm.
And so
we talk about that one all the time. I'm like, well, Auntie, the first time was on them, the second time is on you.
yeah. So that's the best thing about it. When you allow things to happen. I mean, it just doesn't happen. You have to allow this to continually happen to you. So therefore, if I allow you to continue to mistreat me or to do me this way, that's because that's how I want it to be treated. That's the way I want you to, present yourself to me.
I think that, one of the things about toxic behaviors and how I'm interpreting this conversation is that it's also levels because for instance, like when Auntie Beverly says that someone speaks to her and she's, in her own little world and she doesn't speak back, well, then they have the other person has a thought process about her which may not be accurate. She was just in her own world. um so maybe that's something I can give you a second chance. But if you hit me, that's not a second chance. I'm sorry. That was one time and one time only chance. So I believe like it's levels to what second chance looks like, because every second chance isn't for everything. Because if you do something so damaging to me the first time, that's it. That's a wrap.
Yeah, it's done for me. It depends on who you are to me. So if you are friends or associates, it ain't that much you can do. It's a cutoff either way it go. It don't even matter. But if you are close enough to me, family wise, then I will give chances because I understand people go through things. And more importantly, I'm not around all the time. So I'm always in my own space, in my own world anyway. So I have enough space in between and time in between to where whatever's being done is not going to affect me. But if it get to a point to where it does affect me and it affects me in a real way, cut off immediately, instantly. And that's including everybody attached and everybody to, even if the people ain't had nothing to do with me, even if they didn't do anything to me directly, because you are associated, you are guilty by association. So I got to cut you off too. Everybody down the line to the kids and family dogs.
You like your whole family line just got cut off.
Everybody gotta go.
I feel it though.
Everybody gotta go because my thought process and my mental health, and again, I am water. So this tsunami is real. I said it before. When the tsunami comes and you don't want to be in the current, you better get to high ground. That's all I'm gonna say. Because it's real. It's just cut off and it's real cold, real quick, very clean. And so with friends that are close to me, I can talk. And I feel as though my friends that are close to me, I can have conversation and we can talk out whatever it is. And usually it's a misunderstanding and something I probably took personal or didn't know or was just clueless to. And in that case, it's not toxic then. It's just a misunderstanding. But Mom, I see you saying.
Yeah, what I want to know is, so I understand that because I just had a similar situation. So what I want to ask you is then, how do you deal with, once that's done, with the toxic residue that's left from cutting that person off?
Honestly, for me, when I cut off, the residue is everybody else that's attached. Everybody that didn't have anything to do with it. Everybody that's still attached to whatever that one person did.
I mean, that personal residue that's within you, not about that. It's like how you felt. Like, say for instance, it was someone close to you, but you knew that toxic behavior had to be cut off with everyone else. How do you deal with that residue of those years of
still being hurt?
Yeah.
Honestly,
how do you deal with that residue?
Honestly, when I cut off like that, it all goes away in one because I've dealt with it throughout that process and throughout that time frame. So once I cut off permanently, I let it all go at the same time because I don't want that. And then I continue that distance and I just let it go. I don't even carry it. It's just It doesn't mean anything. It's disappeared. It's gone.
It's a mindset.
So
Get
that's
it, be
Oh,
done
yeah.
with
a
it.
skill.
I
So that is
wanna
a
jump
skill
in
to have.
with that one. I want to jump in with that one because that's one of my go-to things. I've done this all my life. Is my cutout game is real. It's strong, and not because I say that because I'm so proud of, oh, I'm cut off people, but is it's my natural remedy to things. I was doing it before I even knew better, but how I navigate that is I think about it like school. Every year I went to another level in my life. I went from kindergarten to first grade, from first grade to second grade. And then, some of those people went along with you. But then there were some years, like maybe you get to seventh grade or eighth grade, maybe the people they moved away, they're not there anymore. And so then, there's an automatic loss. Now you didn't cut them off. They had to go because their parents moved or whatever. So, okay, those people are gone. But then I go to high school, and then some of the people you continue to have relationships with, but then some of them you don't. So then it's like, oh, okay, well, they're not part of my journey anymore. And so I had to learn that statement that people are here for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And so not everybody is here to walk my entire journey with me. There's not one person ever going to be by my side for all my life. My mother won't be. She may have started with me, but she didn't finish with me. Then or either of my parents, and then any of my friends, and even my family that's in my life, they may have known me all my life. I don't remember them, from being a little, but they won't be there throughout my entire journey. At some point in time, somebody's going to move on to the next level, and the next level isn't necessarily being on this physical plane anymore. So there's not one person that's going to always be there. And so when there's, like, let's say a friendship of many years or something like that, when there's a separation or an end to that, I just think of it in that manner that, everything wasn't supposed to happen for forever. And then I think about the life that I have in the present. So for instance, I'll just give an example of the fact that both my parents are gone. I still see my life as very successful, thriving, happy. So just because I don't have somebody in my space doesn't mean that I have to have a lot of sadness or depression or making it seem like there's a void because they're gone. No, I have a whole bunch of other things to do in my life besides having my life, I guess for lack of better words, go downhill or not be as fulfilling because a certain relationship did not work out anymore. And I just move forward and start creating more things that bring me happiness and joy, because maybe in my thought process, that's what is being opened up for me. Maybe that person really was holding me back, and not physically holding me back or even knowingly holding me back, but there were other things that I needed to be doing here in my journey, that because I was so focused on them and that relationship, that I could not focus on the things that I needed to do to fulfill my time here, my purpose.
That was deep. And you cut off right. I literally was typing in the chat. You reaching the 3-minute limit. But you was doing good. You was doing good. It was good.
I'm like, hold on, in my mind, I made it.
No, you did that. So, but what you said, I had to go get my notepad, because remember I told you right there some points that you did. She said, I told you she loves to talk. So
Auntie gonna get muted.
But you said something there that gave me a thought, that process of, you have already trained from day one to have that mental thought that my life doesn't revolve around people, or like my happiness doesn't revolve around people. That's a serious mindset that was learned or learned and taught to you early, and many people still don't grasp that thing. But also the process of grieving, of loss, because now that's just a mentally we have lost a piece of our identity, and now I don't know how to navigate in that space. Is new. So I've been forced in something new. So here it is. I've had the title of being my friend, my sister, my friend, whatever the case this person was. I no longer have that title. So how do I fill that void? So now what is my new identity in that space? And that's the space that we struggle with those things, is because we've lost that identity of friendship, of sisterhood for so long, or whatever it was that occupied that space. And now I don't even know how to identify that. So instead of us identifying it as, oh, I no longer have that identity, it comes as hurt. I'm hurt right there. That's a soft spot. Don't talk about it quite yet. But once we fill that void with understanding, like, okay, I might have lost that identity as a friend, but I'm still a dope ass mama. I'm still a dope ass friend. I'm still dope. Like they don't get to take feelings for me. That's the same way when you lose a relationship of how, like, let's just say he cheated on you. And now you like, oh my God, my self-esteem is being so attacked. Like, bro, no, you don't get to take that with you. Give me that back. But that's a mindset that you can take, like, because you didn't recognize it. I'm still dope as fuck. And just, excuse my French, sorry, mom. But like, yeah, I went there, my bad. But like, I'm
Sometimes
still,
you need to hear it like that though.
right. I'm still that person. Like, so when we get into our mind that confidence set that I'm still a whole person, even though you don't recognize it, or even though I'm choosing to leave this toxicity, I'm still whole. You don't get to take no piece of me from. I'm not giving that to you. So I got to take that back. It goes back to taking that cup. I tell you, people empty your cup out and take it and then ask you what's wrong with you. Bro. That's with knowing that I'm only going to operate on my overflow. You don't get to take a piece of me because I only gave to you out of my overflow. But that's somewhere you have to get mentally before you recognize that.
I tell people that all the time, and I apologize for cutting in, but I tell people that all the time in terms of whatever it is that I've been working on to improve myself, and they get to benefit from it. So like, for instance, when I say I don't argue anymore. And so when I stopped arguing with one relationship I was in, and then the next relationship I went into, and they were like, man, you don't never argue about anything. And I was like, nope, I don't. And they were like, that's surprising. And I was like, yeah, it's just not who I am anymore. But I would tell them that because I've worked on myself, it's not because of you I'm doing this, but it's because of me, and you just get to reap the benefits. And I would remind that person on a regular basis that any of the things that I did that they were, happy that they were receiving in whatever the engagement was. I was like, yes, you get to benefit from the work that I've done for myself, but don't think that it's being done for you. It's being done for me. So just because, again, if you demonstrate toxic behavior that I am not engaging with, it's not because I don't have it in me not to be toxic back. It's just that I choose not to participate in such a toxic way because it doesn't ultimately serve me. And the most important person of this relationship is me.
And her name is me.
Can I piggyback on that?
You can.
What I want to say is, when you were saying that, joy came to my mind, because I realized that joy can't be taken. It can only be given away. So when you're in a toxic relationship and you end it, then you have to choose to keep your joy. It has to be a mindset that you're not going to let it take you down. Because sometimes I have to say this to myself, I choose joy. Because when I'm in a situation and I know things are going bad, I sometimes have to laugh out loud because I keep saying I choose joy. It's a choice that you physically have to make in your mind, that you're going to make that choice. If you don't, then you leave the door open for other choices to just come in as they will. So you have to choose joy. You have to make it be your portion and say, you know what? Sometimes even when you're driving, toxic behavior comes because somebody cut you off, you're ready to slam them and everything else. And sometimes you have to,
everybody like,
you have to stop and you have to say, you know what? That was stupid, but I choose joy. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to even let that bother me. I'm not going to let that ruin my day. I choose joy. You literally have to make that choice,
Yes, you
or
do.
it'll be made for you through your actions and through other people's action. And so you always have to remember to choose joy, because nobody can take it. You only can give it away.
Yeah. Auntie Beverly say yes, yes, yes. Speak that thing, girl. She's seconding it. I do too, because literally I can see, like, I know, and that was a study that we talked about road rage, like why, how early morning driving sets the tone. And that was something that people come into work funky because you didn't already started your day funky because somebody didn't cut you off. And it just set the tone of your attitude already being funky for the day. And now you just looking at everybody like, I wish it would, right?
Right.
That's how I said it, because you on edge. And then something clicked throughout the day, something made you smile, something clicked and reminded you that you were a peaceful person, that you were choosing joy and but like, you really have to, like you said, you have to choose it though, because funky energy be everywhere. Like, it's inevitable. You gotta have like your nunchucks together because it's everywhere. You gotta cut through it everywhere. Yeah. And make conscious choices to be joyful or happy or whatever these cases are. Because like I know I was speaking with somebody yesterday and they were like, do I celebrate because I'm just basic okay? I was like, do you know how hard it is to be basic okay mentally? Like,
Right.
so many crazy things are happening. I'm like, so tell me this. I said, tell me when you were not basic okay and you were fighting to get to basic okay, did it not take a lot of work? And she was like, you know what? I'm going to celebrate right now in this moment, because it took so much work to be just baseline okay, not even happy, not even choosing joy, not even been in a position to choose these joys, but to be basic, like, I'm just here, guys. I made it. I'm on the, like, that took
Right.
work. And I'm going to
Indeed.
celebrate. I'm going to celebrate that I chose joy. I chose to be here. I chose to be happy in this moment. I chose to celebrate and be comforted, and that people are, look at us online right now. We chose right now in this space to be here together and uniting for womanhood, for self-care, for this,
Right.
to better ourselves. We chose to be here for ourselves. And that took work. Because
Yes.
to be honest, when I woke up, I'm like, I don't want to do nothing today. Nothing.
I was clinging to my sheets. I was like, man, okay, I got to get up earlier because I need to go to the grocery store before I even get on here today, and all the things that I need to do to take care of me first. And I'm a proponent of that. That's why, this is important to me, because we must take care of ourselves first and foremost before we take care of other people. So I had to get up this morning and take care of me before I came on here to support the care of other people. Why? Because if I can't take care of me, I don't have the energy or the strength to be able to take care of somebody else. Now, people do it all the time. So for instance, mothers do it all the time, but they're not doing it from a place of their own energy. There's some reserve back there in the back somewhere that they pull it from, to
Yes, it is.
try to make it happen. And although I'm not a physical mother, I haven't had physical children myself, but I remember being a caregiver for my mom, and there was a back reserve, something that I had to pull from on days to be able to take care of her. And mind you, I was still suffering from my own health condition at the same time, and I was praying every single day that nothing happened to me, that because I used to be in the hospital all the time for a couple of years straight. So I was praying that I didn't get sick to go into the hospital, because then who was going to take care of my mom? So there's and maybe I got that reserve from some other time in my life, I don't know, but there's a reserve we have to pull from when it's that important. But other times when it's something that we do, that's maybe optional, just dealing with somebody's BS for the sake of dealing with some BS, or even our BS, all we're doing is draining ourselves. We're not, it's not
That's it.
refueling us, because at least when I was doing those things for my mom, I still could recharge some to say, you know what, my mom did so much for me growing up, and and I love my mom and I care about my mom. So then I was able to somewhat recharge. But then even with her, I was like, okay, it's 8 o'clock. Everybody going to bed. Everybody laying down because I needed 2 hours to myself to just talk on the phone to my friends. I couldn't hang out with my friends because I was spending a lot of time taking care of her. But I'm like, look, everybody, this is how it's working. Everybody gonna be quiet. I don't care what you need. Go to bed. Everybody shutting it down. And in the morning time, I would wake up extra early so that then again I could get myself together. And that's what I do now. I get up early so I can get myself together. So I'm not the person that is, angry throughout my day, because I spent a lot of time, first off, doing things that I love and enjoy, so that by the time it's for me to move into, let's say, a workspace and dealing with other people or driving or something, I'm so happy. I'm like, oh, okay, you cut me out, girl. Okay, you must have needed to get there. One of my favorites is when I see guys speeding. I'm like, oh, you left your mistress' house. You trying to get home to your wife. Go ahead, speed, get there. Before you get in trouble and get divorced. So it just becomes funny to me. Like, I'm having a whole little story going about people and their stuff. So, but it's because I took care of myself and I put myself in a happy space.
Yes. Wait, first of all, Auntie Bellamy going nuts in the comments for you.
and look, she about I talk a lot because that's her toxic behavior. Boom, let's go.
She said, but she love you though. So she willing to work through these toxic behaviors with you because she loves you. She gonna work on this relationship.
Back to something that you said. You said dealing with people bull. So that's the thing. Just as a reminder for those who watch this video later, just because whatever attachment you have to them, whether it's family, friends, or whomever, you don't have to deal with that crap just because they dealing with it. You don't have to. It doesn't matter the relationship. If it's too much for you to handle, you have to put yourself first. Your life depends on it, literally. It literally does. Because people do pass away from various things based on the fact that they've dealt with toxic behaviors from a loved one, a close family friend, or a family, or work. It don't really matter. But you don't have to deal with somebody else's BS just because you have a relationship with them. That don't matter.
Yeah, the one thing that I wanted to say about that was when you were saying how you had to have that time to yourself, what people don't understand is you have to recharge.
Yes.
Everyone has to recharge. Sometimes you give so much throughout the day that you are running on fumes by the end of the day. And when you get to that point, then you open the door for irritability, for fatigue, for sicknesses, and for everything. If you don't spend the time to meditate, redo, whatever makes you recharge, if you don't do that in the morning, at night, or whenever you do, then after you run on fumes so much, you're setting yourself up for a breakdown.
Yeah.
And so that recharging is very important. However it takes you to, for me, I have to get before God and I'll be like, fill me up, God. I need this. I don't, I can't believe that I'm snapping on everybody, that I'm always wanting to cry. I'm having all of these things that then I realize that I'm on fumes. Mm-hmm. So just take that me time, as Beverly says, take that me time and take some time for you, because as you were saying that, what I heard was, and I know you don't have kids or anything, but I said, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
No, yeah.
And so the thing is, if you're not happy, how can you expect happiness to be flowing around you? Mm-hmm. Because if you're the center of everyone's world, then if you're nasty, it's going to open the door for them to be nasty. If you're unhappy, then that thing is going to jump off and they're going to feel like they're unhappy. Everybody's going to be tiptoeing around you and it's going to change the whole atmosphere. You are the atmosphere. What flows around you, that's what you give out. That's what people receive. If you full of joy all the time, people will feel that joy. And when they need joy, they will come to you. Mm-hmm. And if you're full, you have something to give out.
So true.
Mhm.
People have told me, so when I was just I don't want to say that. I'm stuttering because I don't want to say that. When I was only teaching yoga, because I was just gonna say just because it's not a just thing, it was the only thing. When I was only teaching yoga, and I've had several of my yoga students tell me, you seem like you are so happy and that you've never had a bad day in your life. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, really? I'm like, well, you don't know my story. I've had a lot of bad days in my life. But it made me feel so good that I did not demonstrate, or in my aura, it did not signify any of the bad things that have ever happened to me. And I think that's a good place to be able to be in, when people only see you as joyful and happy. And again, like Cicely said, it took a lot of work to get to that point. That didn't happen overnight. Or I love having a simple, boring life. I love it not being drama filled. So when people call me or talk to me, they're like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. And that's all I got. Nothing, no.
Oh.
And I'm happy, man. Let me tell you, it feels so good not to have nothing going on. It is best feeling, especially knowing when I had all type of things, when I had a laundry list. Oh my God, this, that, and the other, this wrong, that's wrong, everything's wrong. And to come to a place where it's just like, you know, my most inconvenience is the fact that I got to put a mask on. Oh my God. It was so much today. That's it. That's all I have.
That's a blessing. Listen.
It's a
Right.
blessing. It's
It
and
really
and I'm
is.
thankful every day for nothing. Every day. All day. Anytime I hear somebody say something, I'm like, thank you. Thank you for that.
But in that same token, just because someone asks you what's happening doesn't mean you have to read your laundry list to them. You don't have to always share your bad things that's happening. You could choose to only give them the good things. So
Mhm.
Exactly.
it's like, and sometimes you have to deal with those in self. And so my thing is, when you were saying it, I was like, that is so her. But me, I thrive on attention and excitement, and I live on the cutting edge, and I love it. The drama part, that's, I take it as it comes and I deal with it, and I'm like, boom, it's over. So I'm like, I'm just that person. I'm like, oh, I gotta wear a mask, but guess what? I went to this new store today.
You
Oh
got the
my
bling bling
God.
mask.
Yeah. So I'm like, I take every time I tell people, I said, God, I got so many lemons that I had today. But guess what? I made some lemon bars. I made some lemon squares. I made some lemonade.
Right.
I said, I took
Right.
those lemons and I turned them around. I said, I bet you they won't be coming to my house no more.
I,
AZP,
I
Okay.
love that. I
favorite
love
flavor.
that. Oh, look who decided to show up and show their face.
She ready. That is so funny. But I just really quickly want to piggyback off what my mom said, because that is so her thing. Like, she is the, I want to be in a mix and that thrive, and I be like, but I don't want to. I don't. But so this, the showing up and the choosing of, like you said, that life. And Ciara, one thing you said, when people like nothing, I'm like, I'd be having, I say everything and nothing all at the same time. So when you ask me like,
Mhm.
how's everything? It's because it's a lot of stuff going on. So don't think in my
Right.
nothingness of me not having issues that stuff not happening. It's a lot of stuff going on, but it's nothing to the point where I need to complain about it or I want to speak about it,
Right.
because it's so much stuff happening. So that's
Mhm.
my favorite thing to say, like, well, what's going on with you? Nothing and everything at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, and then I care not to give an explanation if it makes sense or not. Like, I hope it do, but if it don't, that's just, it is what it is.
Right.
So it's okay. Like, I am in a very good position, but like you said, I fought to be in this mental state. I fought to be in this space. And because I fought so hard, I refuse to let anything penetrate. Like, whoa, get back. Like, my hand strong. So get back. Don't you do it. Like,
It's hot.
so
Don't touch the stove.
don't, like, so yeah, but like, and it's so funny, like when she was talking about the lemons, and I just thinking like, Like she like lemon cake from Bunch, like she like the lemons, so they life be throwing them at her because that's her favorite scent. So I'll be like, no, I be dodging the lemon. Give me some limes, all right? I don't like it like that. So, but but now you can see where I get my nurturing, caring, spontaneous. Like every time my mama talk, I just be like, every time I open my mouth, it's my mama coming out. Make that stop.
Mama,
Look, make it stop, right? But now you see where it comes from. Yeah. So I know we winding down on time, so go ahead, y'all.
I just wanted to say this real quick because this is the first time this thought has ever come to me with thinking about how lemons, turning lemons into lemonade, which is lemons are a detox. They're a detoxifier. And so if these lemons are coming our way, they're here to detox our life, to actually, make some room and clear some things out. So we should not duck and dodge them. We should go ahead and be like, hit me, cleanse me, let it go.
And see, for me, I'm a little bit of both. I love the nothingness and I love the quiet. I gotta have the quiet. But at the same time, I do like the spontaneous. I do like the adventures and I do like the excitement. But I also find like a happy medium for myself to where I can be on the outside of my shell, but it's right here. And if I need to come back in, I can sit right there, or I can look out the window and just look at all them little lemons being thrown at them people. Like, look at this. Let me call somebody. Y'all see these lemons? Look at them. They throwing lemons at each other. Y'all see this? So that's me. I like a little bit of both, but I definitely have to have that piece because we've worked so hard to get to this space and talk about that mental, the spiritual space. It's so much happening in this year, in this world, and in my space that I've gone to the spiritual side because I don't even want to hear nobody what they got to say. I got the answers. I don't even need you. I was telling Ciara, give me some breadcrumbs. I got the rest of the way. I'm gonna find it. Don't even worry about it. I don't even need your little opinion. I don't even care to know about it. Whatever story you got, that's fine. I'm gonna come over here because this is where my military is, right over here in this spiritual realm. So we finna go over here. We finna have us a powwow, and we gonna sit down. We gonna work this out. I don't even need your breadcrumbs. I got it. Thank you. That's it. But that's just me. I gotta have that good balance for myself. And yes, it was a lot to come this morning. But I went out and I did my running and I did my walking. And I'm here. Goodness, I'm here, y'all. It took me 10 minutes to make up my mind before 11, but I'm here.
Look, thank you for showing up because I know.
You for showing
yes.
up because we really don't always know what all of us are going through to show up. Even though we show up here to support other women, we always don't know what we're also dealing with to show up to support other women. And even in our showing up, sometimes it's to receive, not necessarily showing up to give. Sometimes it's just showing up to receive.
Right.
Absolutely.
Anybody else got anything they want to just share or comment on or let us know something? Minutes. I know Auntie Beverly looked like she want to say something because she likes to talk.
look at that. Look at that. Look at here. Everybody gonna pause and wait for it.
Yeah, you trying to put me on the spot. I wasn't showing up at first because I got just a little cold. I don't know, the tickle in my throat or a little sore throat going on here. Also, weather change I was sitting on us because we're used to having like 80s and 90 degrees, and all of a sudden it done fell down to like 50 and 60 degrees. So, but anyway, huh?
I just said that's a big drop.
Yeah, that's a big drop for us. And so, and then next week's gonna go back up to 80. So, we got to fight this weather. But when you talk about throwing lemons and making lemonades, life is gonna, this life, things are gonna be tossed at you, and it's how you perceive, what you're gonna make of it. Whether you're gonna make it good, or you're gonna make it bad. Are you going to deal with it or not deal with it? Like go back to making choices, and you start your day off, like you say, with choices. I start my day off reading my daily devotion because I want to put my mind, in the right frame. And when I get up, phone, reading my daily devotions. I say a little prayer, and I try to keep, a little, like you said, a little joy in my heart all the time. If something happened, I like try to find something positive. Take the negative out and try to put something positive in the way of it to replace it. But I just want to say that I enjoy you girls. I tell y'all all the time, I love getting on here because I love listening to young folks, and I love to talk to. But I try to keep my mouth closed because sometimes this is something that I've been working on for myself, is to hold my peace, and learn to listen to other people. And with me, I have seen how Ciara have really grown, and I'm so proud of her. So, and like she said, she lost my sister and her father, and she has her family here, and she has wonderful friends. And that's one thing I love. She has beautiful friends that share the same things that she shares, with her. But it's all about what you make of life, what you do with it. So when you get up in the morning, how you start your day, how you want to end your day.
Choose it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's your choice. That's it.
Thank you. Thank you. She got all emotional and stuff.
Thank
We
you.
love you. Look, and I just was cracking up. Samantha, don't think you're not finna say at least 2 words, but I chose with my lemonade to make some lemon eyeshadow. Y'all see me?
I seen it, girl. I seen it.
I must have been feeling lemony, a little zesty today. Well, come on, Samantha, say just your little closing statement. Hey, boo.
I was just listening to everyone and enjoying it because I was the one. I joined a little late, but I think you said my question about how to identify my toxic behavior. So just listening to everyone, I was able to kind of like identify with myself and just understand my toxic behavior and what to do to make those changes. And just from everyone in like the self-care, I know I need to start just like people mentioned, waking up earlier and just taking time for me, because I have 3 children, work, trying to handle a business and everything. So I'm always overwhelmed and I never take time out for myself unless I'm like going on a girls trip. But then that's just like every blue moon, it's not consistent. So I have to always make sure that I take time out of my day to just give myself the attention and meditate for me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Choose you. It's okay to be selfish a little bit. Even as a parent, I know a lot of times people like, well, you put yourself first. I'm like, bro, because if I can't put me first, I can't even show up for my kid. Like, I just can't. And he deserved the best of me. So
first.
yeah. He be
Can't tell
calling when
her
I'm
to
not
do
my
it.
best. He called me out. Girl, I'd be like, whoa, okay. Let me go self-check. Give me a second. 10 minutes in the bathroom. All right. Like, because
Right.
your kids call you out on all your flaws. Like, and I got mad. I had to apologize to my mama, like, my bad, because now, like, what I told Stephany the other day, like, how do you beat the you out of your kid? Right? I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do this. So, like, yeah, you have to take some time for you to like, who am I? What am I doing in this moment? Once again, it goes back for being intentional with my words now. Because now I have to be intentional. Like, wait, who am I trying to show up in as this space right here? Because he calling me out and I don't like it. Whoa, be nice to me. So, because then I want to fight my own kid. So yeah, we got honest moment. But it's 11 o'clock. Go ahead, my app. It's 11 o'clock.
I
So
just want to say, sometimes it only takes a minute. Sometimes, because what I got that Apple Watch and it said breathe. And for 1 minute, sometimes you just need to take that 1 minute breath to catch your breath. So it doesn't always take like an hour, half an hour, whatever. Sometimes you just got to take it and get in where you fit in. If you go to the bathroom and you sit on that toilet for 1 minute, just take some deep breaths, breathe in, get that refreshness in you. So just know when and how is good for you, because everybody's story doesn't look the same.
Mm-hmm.
And so know your story, create your own story.
Thank you. Ciara, you want to close us out?
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us live today. And also thank you for the people who will watch this on the replay. And love, inspire, value you. And have a good day and see you next week.
I sent y'all my corona-free kisses. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.